What's up guys, my name's Luke from Archer & Woods, pre-owned menswear and vintage watch store. Something a little bit different today. I just wanted to do a more informal video and do one of these every now and again. Just a few random things that pique my interest and maybe replying to some comments or questions. And yeah, just see where it goes. The first one being, I wanted to get more into wine. So I know a little bit about wine, but I've never really dived into it. So one thing I'd really recommend is I've been reading this book, Wine Simple by Aldo Sol, which is really easy to understand. It's a little bit dirty because all my books got messed up in a move recently. It looks great, it's well illustrated, it's so simple. It breaks things up by region, so have the different regions, and goes into pretty much all the detail any sort of beginner in formulating an idea on wine would need. So I'm going to work my way through the book. At the moment I've just got the first thing that's been in the cabinet, which is this South African Cabernet Sauvignon Melon. And I'm just going to do some research really, but I'll definitely recommend this book for anyone that's interested in wine. But yeah, let's drink. It's been a long week. So quick fit check before we get into things. The shirt is by No Nationality, which is in store currently as well. It's like a chore jacket sort of shirt thing. See it? Really like the fit of this. It's relatively slim but not too skinny. It's a really nice fit. And No Nationality is a brand that I've seen creeping up loads recently. So they're a Scandi brand. Let's have a look actually. What's their story? So you often see the brand label as NN07, which is sometimes a little bit confusing. So founded by friends in 2007, that explains it. NN07 strives to redefine the modern casual wardrobe. Although being a Copenhagen-based brand, this is of little importance to the mission of existence of NN07. NN means no nationality, and we believe in personalities, not nationalities. Inspired by dedicated people and communities, we create products with attention to the need of today and tomorrow. I mean, sentiment's very nice. It's pretty guffy, isn't it? But they do nice clothes. Yeah, they're definitely a brand that I've seen more and more of recently. So just one to keep an eye on. This glass, by the way, cheers. Bink. There's two of these. These are vintage French wine glasses. They're in store as well. But yeah, cheers. I'm not going to do that whole tasting thing on camera. So the main basis of today's video was just about a comment I received recently on a video. And I'll get it up here. I do see and reply to comments quite often, but I'm not one to go back and forth into any sort of major argument or discussion if there's a disagreement. Why I say like that? If there's a disagreement, just purely because when things are written out, it feels like you can disagree with someone's opinion, but when you're writing a response and you're going back and forth, maybe it can seem like you are arguing or you're annoyed when actually you're just two people with differing opinions. And I don't think anyone really wins from it. I don't think it's the right format for discussion in that way, because whenever I've read comments and back and forth, it just doesn't feel right to me. And I love differing opinions. I love when people have their own point of view, and even if it's as opposed to mine, fine, great. I'm certainly not saying my opinion is right and that's it. But there's just one thing I want to pick out. So I'll put the comment up. I won't put who it was from, even though you can probably find it. So this is off the back of a video I did about Henry Cavill, and basically saying that some of the suits he wears don't flatter his massive physique. The guy is pretty much a bodybuilder, and that's a real hard thing to get tailoring right for. And I don't feel that some of the suits he wears flatters that. I'm not saying he actually needs to do that. If he likes the clothes he wears, then fine. But it's just the main reason of my videos is more for if anyone struggles with these sort of things and why certain fits don't look right, or they want to adjust things to be a bit more flattering. That's why I sort of pick out an example like that. It'll often be a celebrity and highlight why I feel, or what I feel could be changed. And that's the main thing. So a part of that video was me saying that in some of the suits, he had a very wide leg trouser, and there was a big break in it, so lots of material down the bottom. And for a guy that's over 6 foot, it made him look shorter, just because obviously he's very broad. He's wearing quite strong padding on his shoulders as well, strong structured jacket, and with that break in the bottom, it just made him look a little bit shorter. What I was saying was that was just a bit too much in my opinion, and I personally would have gone with less of a break or no break. I go personally without breaks normally, and yeah, we'll get into this. So his comment was, why are all the Instagram style gurus so obsessed with having no breaks in the trousers? Having one break is the most traditional and correct way for classic style. I don't know how no breaks hype got picked up at me. So there's a few things in there that like I agree with, and a few things I don't. There's like a point of view I don't agree with. So I'll go through my response first. So I just said no obsession, but a lot of younger guys don't want to wear a break. Just because it's classic doesn't mean it's correct and the only way of doing things. In my opinion, there's no right or wrong. If you want a more classic look, go for a break. If you want a more modern silhouette, then no break. Sometimes there's good reasons to do either, i.e. body shape. And yeah, that's my opinion. I don't wear a break in my trouser. I'm 5'8". I don't need any extra material at the bottom of my trouser. I don't want to go for a classic look, even though I love classic tailoring. I love classic suits and people wearing classic tailoring with a break as well. Like, I appreciate it. It's not something I want to wear. My personal aesthetic is not Savile Row classic, Anderson & Shepherd. That's not my personal look. I love those suits. If I had one, I would wear them. We've had one in store. I would wear them, but I'd wear them in a more modern way. Like, I would slim down the trousers probably. Like, sacrilege, I know, but it's just not, the break isn't for me. If I also have clients that want the more classic look, that's what we're going with. And there's ways to do that really beautifully and nicely. Different horses for different courses. Everyone has a right to dress how they want to. If you want to have that classic tailoring, but also have it in a modern way, then you should do that. I mean, so many guys do that in their own way that are out there. So you've got the classic guys like a Kirby Allison, or you've also got guys that do more modern. Like if you look at someone like Waco, super wild and out there with some of the stuff he wears, but also with a little classic twist. Simon Crompton as well, Pyramid style, super classic, but there's little bits of modern twists in there as well. So we're all on a sort of spectrum of where we want to be. My issue is saying that this is right and this is wrong, and that just because it's classic menswear, it has to be classic, or this is just because it's a piece of clothing from classic menswear, then it has to be classic. That's where I sort of have a bit of a problem. He responded to me, said, thanks for the reply. Well, I am a Gen Z and was raised by a family who values timeless classics. I was involved in the fashion industry. I cringe every time I hear someone mention no breaks. I agree to an extent that it could be dependent on type of silhouette, but classic suits most body types, hence classic name. No breaks make people appear even shorter, contrary to the point made in the video. Overall, the message is clear. Tailoring is important, so I'm glad we agree there at least. So he's saying he's raised in a family who values timeless classics, which is great. I mean, look, if you want to uphold and maintain the classic the way it should be, if you want to, where's the book? If you want to be the sort of bastion and holder of like classic menswear, live by this book and other books like it, even though, you know, this goes through so many different options and styles that it's not so rigid, but a really good book nonetheless. But to say like you cringe at the idea of no break, it's just a bit strange to me. Like, you might not like it, fine, but to be like, this is the way it must be. Like, tailoring and classic menswear must be this way, otherwise it's almost not worth looking at. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, tailoring can be done in so many different ways. There's so many wonderful quirks and experimental pieces of tailoring. Look at Edward Sexton. Look at what like the shoulders, the lapels, going from the 70s, from the 60s, all the way to now when people are being more casual, wearing oversized suits, and like you can see like Balenciaga doing their stuff. I mean, I'm not a fan of Balenciaga, but it's tailoring and it's a thing. It's like people have different opinions on art and tastes, and that's what should be celebrated and like appreciated, I feel. Nonetheless, in that way, I still appreciate that someone has their views on something. I just don't feel you should try to put your point of view on other people that much and say, this is the only way. That's my only issue. So I do really appreciate that we're all geeks about tailoring, and that's great. But I want it to be an inclusive place. I want it to be a place that isn't so stuffy like the old Savile Row. I don't want it to be closed off to people that maybe want to enter the world of tailoring and feel like they can't because either they don't know what they're doing, or they feel like they're going to be told something like that, where it makes you feel like, oh, I'm doing something wrong because there's rules, and that's just not the world as I see it. Because it's not, because the people are involved in it all great. If you go to Savile Row, it's a much changed place, and it's just a nice place to be, and you should experiment, and you should try different things. But yeah, that was my rant. And so that I don't feel goes too well if I'm trying to go back and forth as a comment. So apologies if that was a rant. I do really appreciate people's points of view, but I will definitely at some point say I don't like the look of this. But I think a caveat to that would always be, but like, cool that you do. Like, that's great. Like, there's so many pieces of art that I don't like, but I appreciate that people did, and I'd rather have it in the world than not. That's the first of these sort of like wine talks. Please check out our store Archer & Woods for pre-owned menswear and vintage watches. We've got a ton of really great tailoring pieces for really good prices. But also, if you're interested in style consultancy as well, I offer one-on-one sort of hour-long sessions, sort of like ad hoc or full sort of styling service. So you can check that out at archerandwoods.com as well. Please remember to like and subscribe because it really helps me grow the store, the channel and everything. And if you have any questions, let me know. It's hello@archerandwoods.com. Follow at Archer & Woods on the socials, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Cheers.